talking head, and then I get Carly Jepsen as my intro music. Wow, I've made it in life. No, but I'd like to thank Jack Nicholson, the Joker here, for stealing my outfit tonight. What the heck? But you know, we're going to party like it's 1999, Reverend, right? Right? We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Very excited to be here. First and foremost, big round of applause for the Women's Center of Greater Lansing. This is one fantastic institution. We're very lucky to have them here in our community. It's a pleasure to support them. Thank you, Cindy, for all that you do. And if Malik gets to perform, I'm sorry, if the Reverend gets to perform as an alias tonight, then I want to perform as an alias tonight. And I'm going to perform as my alter middle school ego. Everyone, who needs 007 when there's 00 Evan? Thank you. Thank you. One of the best and worst campaign slogans I ever had when I ran for the Treasury in 7th grade. And unlike Mitt Romney, I won that election. Oh, no, come on, we're not talking politics tonight. My cameraman Tim's like, geez, what are you doing? Are you insane? You're on the news, don't talk politics. I won't, Tim, until later. Until later. But I am a huge fan of 007, huge fan of James Bond, and this is a big year for Bond. It's the 50th anniversary of the franchise. James Bond is 50. Who's a James Bond fan in the room? All right. Who loves Pierce Brosnan as James Bond? He's a pretty good James Bond. How about the new guy, Daniel Craig? He's doing a good job. But I think the most of us love Sean Connery. Right? James Bond. Everything that guy did was just super suave and super cool. You know, now in Bond movies, if you want like the Bond theme playing, if you want to hear the dun-dun-dun-dun, you've got to like jump on a train, you've got to jump out of a plane without a parachute, you've got to go on a high-speed chase all over London just to get the theme song playing. You got to save the world. But not Connery. When Connery was Bond, that man could do anything, and that theme would be with it, because that's how good, how suave he was. That guy in Dr. No walked to an elevator, and he made it look like James Bond. You know, you hear the dun 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 Where's my flaw? Oh, I mean, that guy made everything look cool and suave, right in an elevator. But I just got back from London. I was vacationing over in London, and I love this city. What an amazing city, one of my new favorite cities. And I took in some theater while I was there. Big theater fan. I do shows at Riverwalk Theater, love supporting the cultural arts, so I figured, yeah, thank you. Riverwalk, one of our great institutions in town. So I figured, you know, I'm going to take in the theater in London. Let's take in the theater. Let's see what this is all about. And I went and saw Wicked. Who's heard of Wicked? What show? And if you don't know Wicked, it's basically like the story behind The Wizard of Oz. What it really was about the Wicked Witch and Glinda and all that stuff. Now, Wicked is a great show, don't get me wrong, but I realized that when in London, they talk with a British accent while in the show. And that kind of threw me for a curve, because you go in and you're expecting to, you know, hear one thing, and then the accent comes up, so you have, you know, like the wizard come on, and he's singing in perfect mid-Michigan, non-regional dialect. You know, he gets out there, have another drink, my dark-eyed beauty. I've got one more night left here in town. Have another drink of sweet elixir, and we'll have ourselves a little mixer. Have another little swallow, little lady, and follow me down. And then after we did that, we went over to the land of Oz, and we couldn't believe it was happening with Dorothy and the witch. And oh my goodness, there was a huge problem. She was green. Yes, the baby was green. I couldn't believe it. And they were like, what the heck? I wonder if it works with the women, too. And then the lead actress comes out, and, you know, oh, there's just one thing. I just can't stand that I'm not so popular. I just really don't like the fact that I'm not popular. And, you know, I'm sick of the land of Oz. I don't want to be here. So if you need to find me, just look towards the western sky. I'll be defying gravity. oh, these monkeys will be flying all over the place, and there will be the Lion and the Wizard and Dorothy. It will be wonderful, but I'll be defying gravity. And then the yellow brick road. I'll be hopping on the yellow brick road. And gravity. What the Phil Collins is going on here? Like I was at a Genesis concert. But I guess that's the beauty of our London ancestry, our London friends from way back in the day. And people in London, we should all take note. These are wonderfully polite people. A very polite and proper culture. And a lot of people compare London to New York. Very big cities, very expensive. They got a great underground, a great subway. But if you're in London and you're getting on the subway, here are things you're going to hear, you know. Oh, just mind the gap, old boy. Watch your step. Oh, don't worry. Yeah. No, just go on. I'll take your luggage for you. I'll catch the next train. Here's 6 pence because you're none the richer. Just don't kiss me. That's a little music joke for you. Don't worry about it, then, old boy. Just jump right on the tram there. Have a jolly good day. The New York subway system, I think, would be a little bit different. Maybe a little bit different trying to get in a New York subway. Hey, what the frick you doing, man? Get the heck out of the way. That is the worst impersonation of a New York person that I think I could ever do. It was so awful. Malik's like, come on, man. Sound more black. What are you doing? The Ritz cracker up there isn't sounding black enough. I'll work on it, Malik. I'll work on it. As a Massachusetts guy, I've got one accent only. That's Ted Kennedy. Talking to You can vote if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, because if your friends don't vote, and if they don't vote, then they're no friends of mine. Safety dance. So they should have ran. Kennedy should have ran, and that's where they went off. As well as the Chappaquiddick Bridge. But that's besides the point. No, we're not talking politics. We're not talking, Tim, we're not talking politics. I'm sorry. We're not going to do this until later. We'll talk about it later. But I got back from London. I'm trying to talk to my dad about this trip. Very wonderful man, my father, Bernie. But he's one of those parents, and he does this all in a really good way. One of those parents where he always tries to relate to you by telling you a story from his past that he thinks will have some bearing on your future, even though you know it's completely false. And he won't relent. So, I call him on the phone. I'm like, hey, Dad, I had a great time in London. What a wonderful trip. Evan, you're going to listen to me. Dad, you don't need to shout. It's not like I'm actually, in London. I'm on the phone. You don't need to yell. Just talk normally. That's a good connection. All right, well, listen to me. When I was in London in '54, Dad, you were 4 years old and you never traveled abroad. Evan, my history of travel is not what's at stake here. What's at stake here is your behavior. Because I remember when I was in London, I got into a lot of mischief. I mean, didn't you just tell me that you went to a pub and had a Guinness? Yes, Dad, I went to a pub. I had a Guinness. Well, that's what I did with a friend of mine. And we had a lot of Guinnesses. Then we jumped in the Aston Martin. Dad, you were not even in an Aston Martin. You owned a Buick Regal, and you lived in Adamsville. Evan, the car sales were different internationally back then, okay? The point is that we were in the Aston Martin. We had had a few Guinnesses, and thankfully, I found the little button in the middle of the dial, like 009 uses. Dad is 007, never mind. But I hit the button, and I jumped out with the ejector seat, and I barrel rolled to safety. But my friend kept going. He drove off a cliff into the Thames River and died. Dad, the Thames runs through London in the middle of the city. There's no cliff. The topographic landscape of London changed after the war, Evan. The point is, my friend is dead. Sir Thomas Foolery is dead, and I'm gonna miss Tom Foolery. Dad, did you just say that you had a friend in London who was knighted, and he owned an Aston Martin, and he drove off a cliff that didn't exist and a river that didn't run by there, and his name was Tom Foolery? It's exactly what I'm saying, Evan. Why do you think we use that in the lexicon of language today? Because of my friend. So don't screw around in London. Dad, I'm not screwing around in London. I'm home. In fact, I'm going to run across the street and just go out and have a good time. Well, don't run without looking both ways. Another friend of mine got hit by one of those double-decker buses and died. And I'm going to miss Jason Walker. Jay Walker was a good man. Dad, did you just say you had a friend named Jay Walker who got hit while running across the street because he didn't look both ways? Why do you think we got so many crosswalks now, Evan? That's the point. Dad, I'm hanging up and I'm going to live with Mom, but I love you. But I love you. But yeah. Fathers looking out for their sons, right? Fathers looking out for their sons. But I got back from London, had a great trip, wonderful time, and then of course I went right back to work on TV6 in the morning. And a lot of the people were like, Evan, you got to catch up. You got a lot of catching up to do. But I'm like, I'm going to take it easy. which is the exact opposite of what the weatherman does, like my good friend Tim Nestor in the back. You know, he does a great job in the news. We love Tim. But the beauty is, when you do the weather, and you completely screw everything up, you do everything wrong possible. You know what you get to say? Whoops, sorry, I guess it rained today. Guess it rained, whoops, didn't have your umbrella. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't worry about it, I got it wrong. Woohoo! If that were to happen to me, if I were to come in and say, hey, don't go downtown. There is a violent criminal. There's been a shooting. And then tomorrow, but oops, sorry. Made that one up. Here's how I would be leaving the TV6 studio. Now I'm really stuck. How did I do that? How did I do that? Hold on, I can fix this. Have another drink, my dark-eyed beauty. You're in town. Thank you. Just needed some blocking from Wicked to help me. Whereas Ted Kenny would say, that's a wicked good show, wicked good. But yeah, I'd be arrested, so Tim, I love you, buddy, but let's step up the game. Let's step up the game. But I got back and I realized, you know, that I'm right in the middle of a political election. Sorry, we are going to talk politics for just a little bit, right in the middle of a political election. And that's, you know, not everybody likes to see politics all the time, you know, because it can just overwhelm you. You don't understand everything. It can be also quite boring and not fun at all. I love the good news. I love, you know, waking people up, making them laugh, making them feel good, getting their day going. So we thought, well, what would be a great idea? Let's have people who are good at making others laugh do the news. Like, wouldn't it be great if you woke up one day and turned on and Jerry Seinfeld was your news anchor? Wouldn't it be, you know, in the TV6 News, starting right now with Jerry Seinfeld. Good morning! Thanks for waking up with us. It's good to have you here. We're talking politics this morning, man. Big rally down at the Capitol, the Tea Party. Rally downtown at the Capitol. They're all over the place, these people in the Tea Party, and I don't really get it. I don't know what they're rallying about. They're just filling up the streets. They're clogging up the streets. You can't go anywhere. You're trying to drive your by. You're just stuck. In fact, I was trying to get downtown, got so frustrated, went out to get a coffee at Bigby, saw one of the Tea Party people in Bigby drinking a coffee. What's someone in the Tea Party doing drinking coffee? I don't get it, you're a member of the Tea Party, why are you drinking coffee? Doesn't make sense. Well, let's go to our correspondent in the field, Cosmo Kramer. He's joining us live from downtown with more on how the election is going. Cosmo, what's going on? Jerry, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. So I'm downtown, Jimmy, you know, and I'm trying to cover this rally. You know, because people all over the place with the signs. You know, I got my own sign. I'm walking around and out with my sign. I'm trying to hold it up so people can see it. And all of a sudden, this other guy, the sign goes by, Jerry, and he clips me, and I go right down, Jerry. I go right down. So I'm on the ground, Jerry. I'm trying to get back up. I realize I'm bleeding all over the place, Jerry. I'm bleeding. I'm blood running down. I couldn't believe my suit. I don't want the blood, you know, to stick in my suit. So I get up, and I realize I'm cut. And I go, hey, man, what'd you do that for? And I look at his sign. What did the sign say, Kramer? It said peace. He cut me with a sign that said peace. That doesn't make any sense. Kramer, compose yourself. Compose yourself. Tell us what else is going on. Well, you know, after I got composed, you know, I was trying to go around and talk to people because I had my signs. So I'm walking around. I'm trying to walk really brisk, and I'm walking really quick, and I'm trying not to walk around. So I run into this guy, but I'm really worried about the guy with the sign, so I turned around and I clocked him, Jerry. I clocked this guy. I didn't know who he was. He went right down, Jerry, right down. But he got back up, and then he's clocking me, so we're getting into these fisticuffs. We're going, we're throwing money left to right, left to right, left to right. And then all of a sudden, I realized, oh my God, Jerry, I just punched the governor. Kramer, you punched the governor? What do you mean you punched the governor? I don't know, Jerry. Well, what happened next? Well, he punched me right back. He did? You better believe it, Jerry. He's one tough nerd. Yeah! Thank you very much. Pleasure being here. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations to the Women's Center of Greater Lansing. Let's bring Prince back up, and let's go crazy.